Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Foreclosure Help 777, where we talk about everything foreclosure related. I hope everyone's doing really well right now and everyone's still in their house. If you'd like to join me with my Facebook group, Foreclosure Help 777, you can join us and we help each other with our foreclosures. So today we're going to talk about an interesting topic. But before we get started, let's go over the verse of the day. Okay, the verse of the day is, "The first to state his case seems right until the other comes and examines him." Proverbs 18:17. So anyway, let's talk about mediation, which is foreclosure court-ordered mediation. Some of y'all have had this happen in your cases, and we're going to talk about what happens when you are in this kind of situation. Sometimes court-ordered mediation is part of the actual scheduling order itself, and if you are in federal court and you're suing them as plaintiff, it's your responsibility to read your scheduling order to see when or if it's part of the scheduling order. And it depends on what state you're in. Some do it pretty much with, like Florida does it with every case. Other cases don't, so it just depends. Anyway, let's talk about mediation, what it means, what court-ordered mediation actually is. It is ordered by the court. It is not voluntary. It is governed by the local rules, scheduling orders, ADR programs. Court-ordered mediation and foreclosure. Now, these are some things to keep in mind. Court-ordered mediation may be the best chance to resolve a foreclosure before trial. Mediation forces the lender to come to the table and discuss options. Many homeowners do not realize mediation can lead to loan modifications. It can also result in repayment plans, reinstatement terms, or extra time. A neutral mediator helps both sides towards settlement. The mediator does not decide who wins or loses. Mediation is not court, but it can shape the entire case. Judges often watch whether both sides participate in good faith. Some lenders send representatives with no authority to settle. If the bank comes up unprepared, it can become important later. Homeowners should never attend mediation blindly. You have to bring income documents and hardship information, bring a timeline of servicing mistakes and broken promises, all your evidence of their wrongdoings. Bring payment records if you have them. Bring proof of insurance and tax payments if it's relevant. Organization can change the power dynamic completely. Okay, so calm homeowners often outperform aggressive bank representatives. Ask who owns the loan and who has authority to even settle. Ask for a complete payment history if figures do not make sense. Question unexplained fees, suspense balances, and escrow shortages. If numbers keep changing, demand clarity in writing. Many foreclosure cases have accounting issues beneath the surface, as we all know. That's why they change servicers so often, right? Okay, and then mediation can expose missing paperwork or confusion over ownership. It may reveal the servicer is not truly prepared for trial. Never agree to terms you do not understand. Get any agreement in writing before relying on promises. That's real important. If no deal is reached, mediation can still help your defense. What happens in mediation may influence further court proceedings. Prepared homeowners often gave leverage simply by showing up informed. Sometimes homes are saved not in trial but in mediation. Okay, so let's delve a little deeper here. Once it's ordered, it becomes part of the court's command, like discovery deadlines. Biggest misconceptions: you are not required to settle, but you are required to participate in good faith. You can reject offers, but you cannot refuse to participate, skip, or sabotage it. How court-ordered mediation works. The judge orders mediation. In many foreclosure cases, the courts may require both sides to attempt mediation before the case moves forward. This means that the homeowner must participate, the lender servicer must participate, and the case pauses or slows while mediation is scheduled. A neutral third party is chosen. This mediator is not the judge and is not on either side. The mediator's role is to keep discussions professional, help identify settlement options, move communication between parties, try to help reach an agreement. They do not decide who wins. Everyone usually pays a share. In many courts or private mediation programs, the cost is divided between parties. Common examples: a 50-50 split, the bank pays a larger share, or court-sponsored reduced fee programs, waivers in hardship situations. So even the bank may have to spend money to mediate, which gives them incentive to resolve the case, obviously. Why this matters? Once the lender has to hire counsel, prepare documents, pay mediation fees, assign representatives, negotiate seriously, it creates pressure to settle. What happens during the session? The mediator may meet with everyone together, separate parties into different rooms, carry offers back and forth, discuss modification terms, or narrow disputes. If no agreement happens, the case usually returns to court, but now both sides know strengths and weaknesses. The judge may learn who cooperated. The homeowner may gain time and leverage. Foreclosure mediation changes the battlefield. Suddenly, the bank must explain itself, participate, and spend money. What good faith participation means. Good faith includes showing up on time, prepared, having authority to negotiate, actually engaging in discussion, not just repeating they don't have standing the whole time. Bad faith examples: walking out, refusing to speak, filing motions instead of complying, ignoring mediator instructions. Consequences of non-compliance: well, that would be case dismissal and sanctions, motions denied automatically, loss of credibility with the judge. If you have a strong case, you can still lose it by not following the mediation rules. Strategic use of mediation. Okay, this is where you can use this to your advantage. You can lock the bank into positions. You can get admissions. You can identify gaps in standing. You can push for documents. You can set up later arguments. So mediation can help when fraud is involved. How mediation can help when fraud is involved. It forces the other side to face the problems. Okay? When fraud allegations exist and the lender or servicer can no longer hide between the routine filings, they may have to respond to issues like forged signatures, false assignments, fabricated endorsements, inflated balances, unauthorized fees, contradictory payment histories, broken modification promises. Fraud creates risk for the bank. Once misconduct is raised, the case becomes more dangerous for them. Why? Discovery may expose records. Employee testimony may be needed. Judges may scrutinize the documents. Sanctions can become possible. Public record exposure hurts them. That often increases settlement pressure. Mediation can lead to better terms. When serious defects exist, homeowners may obtain a principal reduction, favorable modification, waiver of fees, reinstatement terms, dismissal without prejudice, additional time to refinance or sell. Again, it depends on your case, guys. This is just general information. It locks them into positions. During mediation, the other side may make statements about ownership, balances, authority, or records. If later contradicted, that can matter. It reveals whether they're prepared. A weak or fraudulent case often shows signs: no clear chain of title, changing balances, no knowledgeable representative, repeated requests for same documents, refusal to answer direct questions. It can shift the narrative. Instead of borrower being behind on payments, the issue becomes, did the lender act lawfully and honestly? And that is powerful. What homeowners should bring if fraud is suspected: a timeline of events, letters, emails, payment receipts, prior modification documents, screenshots or portal records, copies of suspicious assignments or affidavits, list of contradictions. How to handle it when you know that you won't settle. Well, you still participate. You stay professional and you document everything. You don't burn bridges. You don't go to mediation to surrender. You go there to protect your case. Mediation can produce corrective relief. Possible outcomes: a lien release, correct mortgage documents, reformation agreement, dismissal while defects are fixed, negotiated modification, reduced payoff, settlement funds. In some situations, you can get money too, by the way. It forces them to explain the paper trail. When asked directly, who recorded this? Under what authority? Where is the supporting assignment? Why are the dates inconsistent? Why are signatures suspicious? Weakness often appears quickly. They don't want to have to answer those questions in front of a third party, and this is one way to get them to admit it. Judges like practical resolution. Courts generally prefer fixing avoidable disputes rather than years of litigation over defective records. Now we're going to talk about real case examples here, guys. We're going to talk about Sabrina Kohler's case. She was in Missouri, as you can see here. Her case started July of 2024. It went through the whole system, guys. She went all the way to summary judgment phase, all the way to the bottom. You can see right here. Right there. Notice of appointment of neutral. Designated of ADR conference. So she was basically ordered to go to mediation, and she refused to go. And then the other side, they filed a dismissal and sanctions, and the judge, I can show you what the judge ordered. Here's a copy of the judge's order. You can see it for yourself online as well. Plaintiff shall file with the court no later than March 27th a notice that she has paid the mediation deposit. Plaintiff shall work with Mrs. Shields and defense counsel to reschedule the mediation. And this is underlined, any failure by plaintiff to follow the court's order to participate in mediation, including following the requirements outlined by the mediator, shall be deemed to be contemptuous and will result in dismissal for failure to follow the court's orders. And if you look at the docket, you'll see that's exactly what happened in her case. Unfortunately, this is what happened to her. She didn't want to go to mediation. Her case was dismissed. So that's what can happen. Okay, guys, I hope this was informative to a lot of y'all that are fighting the banks. If you have to go to mediation, you should go unless you want your case to be dismissed. I hope everyone out there is doing okay with their cases. I do pray for you guys every week. And if you have questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. And as always, everyone, have a blessed day.